Hi, so I'm going to show you how you can access your DeepRacer account. This is when you're starting to play with it. You know, sometimes it's fun to play with things before you start learning about it, and sometimes it's fun to learn about things before you start playing with it, and sometimes it's fun to do both at the same time. It just kind of depends. Everybody's got their own learning style. Mine tend to be play with it, get frustrated, and then remember I haven't read the instructions yet. And then I read the instructions. But anyway, so this is the AWS Management Console. I'm logged in. And so AWS has I don't even know how many services they have anymore, 180, 160. They keep adding stuff all the time. But what we're going to be looking for, as you can see, recently visited services, but I'm going to act like I haven't recently visited. And you can just, type in what you're looking for, search. Okay, so this is the console for the AWS DeepRacer, and it has all this awesome information, which can be overwhelming at first, so try not to be overwhelmed with it. It talks about the virtual circuit where you can compete online, and has some Formula One stuff if you're into racing. I'm not, but if you are. It has information about the summit online. It has information about community races, and talks about reinforcement learning, getting started. And it goes through the steps of how to get started. And it's pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions or if you get stuck, let me know. The longest part, as you can see, is just to create the model and race. And what that does, it goes through the reinforcement learning. It goes through the process of learning, see what works and what doesn't. And if you've started watching some of the tutorials or learning a little bit about machine learning, you'll see that there is a reward measure. Whenever it does well, stays on the track, it doesn't crash, doesn't go off outside the parameters. Something on Slack popped up and it scared me. Whenever it doesn't go outside the designated parameters, it has lower reward. And whenever it's within the designated parameter, it has a higher reward. So that's kind of how it works. So this is the model that I made, looks like about a week or so ago. Haven't messed with it much since then. I named it Tushy Car because I'm not creative, and Tushy was my nickname in high school. And yeah. So what it does is you can see the simulation, the evaluation results, trials 1, 2, and 3. The time, 29 seconds, I think. Hours, minutes, seconds, looks like seconds. Trial results, and I crashed them all. And I haven't done any other training, so this crashing isn't really a surprise. But it talks a little bit more about the reward function. And this is the Python code. And this is actually just the default. See, they have a sample. Let me see. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to leave that alone. I want to start reinforcement learning. Okay. It goes through all of that. So let's see. Talks about the training. Okay, build your own model. So you would obviously not, keep clicking through as fast as I did. I was just trying to do that for sake of time. Okay, so you can create your own model. Again, it is the overview of the agent is the car, the environment is the track, and the rewards and the action. The rewards are based off of the action and the parameters. So model name, Tushy Car 2. So you can choose what circuit you want or what track. That one looks very complicated. We're not doing that one. This is from reEvent a couple of years ago. This one was reEvent, or the DeepRacer Championship Cup. So you can pick whichever one you want. I'm going to click with this one. I think that's what I did last time. And let's see. So you can do a time trial, object avoidance, or head-to-head racing. Because one of the things that they're doing this year is actually having two vehicles. So it's more of a competition as opposed to just the goal being not to crash and, you know, do it as quick as you can. Now there's going to be more of a competition aspect of it. Don't know that much about it yet. I haven't taken that deep of a dive into it. But it's just another way to kind of, you know, up the ante and make things more fun. So the time trial is what I did the first time. I'm going to do object avoidance now. And let's see. So select the criteria. I'm going to do fixed object. Sure, we'll stick with 3. And this is the Python function code that it gives us. And one of the things that we can do that as you learn more is, you know, start customizing it so that it improves. And it's a lot of fun. It's a trial and error. It's really important not to be discouraged whenever things don't work, like the first time or 10. But because it's an iterative process, and every time you do it, you'll learn more. So I think one of the hardest things is just to not be discouraged. It's okay to be frustrated and walk away for a little bit, but don't be discouraged. So we're just going to leave everything as default. Maximum time is 60 minutes. So what it's going to do is going to run for 60 minutes, and it's going to capture the stuff, the information, the data. Excuse me. So, and you can see here, you can learn and train up until May 31st for free. With AWS, there are some costs. They're usually very minimal, you know, depending on what you're doing. EC2 computing databases usually tend to be, in my experience, where I've had the higher bills. When it comes to stuff like this, not as much, but there's some measures that you can get set up so that you can put a budget. It just has an alarm, so to speak. It'll notify you if you start going over a budget. So, but anyways, besides that, you have access. You can train and evaluate for free. And there's terms and conditions. So I'm not going to open up that. Create model. So Tushikartu. Inspect training info. Let's see. Inspect training after the training instance is provisioned and the training job is initialized. So evaluate model after the training is completed. Okay, so as you can see up here, the training is being initialized. This can take about 6 minutes. And if you remember from earlier, I did 60 minutes. So it's going to be an hour that it's going to be doing some training. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. And then once it's done, I'll show you the end results. So this is a lot of fun. I hope you get to join us for a COSI's, you know, at home science festival. But let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.